Hello Aries, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Now this is for the new year 2023. Happy New Year. We're going to find out just what is in store for you for 2023, what is the energy for the next few months, what you can expect, and just what the general energies are, what the message is that's coming through for the new year. Okay, now please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And, I say let's just get right into it. And we start with that Four of Swords, okay? So let's use that as our starting point. And let's lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread, which is going to include a mystery card, a bonus card, a confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put this right over here by this Dove and Serpent coffee mug. And we're not going to look at that until the very end, so definitely stick around to the end of the video. We're going to see if that can tie things together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the end, okay? So just looking here at the kind of elemental balance, we have some water, we have some air, we have some fire, some more air, some more fire, we have some majors. The one thing we don't really have is a lot of earth. So I think the focus for your, the new year and the next couple of months generally is going to be to try to stay grounded, okay? It seems like there are a lot of energies going on. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of new things happening, but it's important for you to stay centered, stay grounded, stay a little bit humble, right? And really be connected. So you're going to have to focus on things that are like, that are earth energy related. Like going out into nature, really taking care of your body, getting, going for a jog or a walk, getting proper nutrition, getting enough rest and relaxation, and really getting your hands focusing on the sensation of your body touching the earth, right? You know what I mean? Like walk barefoot or hug a tree, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? To make that connection and to really kind of recenter yourself in your body and make sure that you're aware of yourself, you're aware of your body, right? I think that's going to be very important this year because there's so much good energy going on. It's going to be very easy to get carried away, okay? And the first thing we saw was the Four of Swords here, right? So I think that whatever kind of existing conflict there is now, which we might as well go directly to this air sign, this court card, this Knight of Swords here. Whoever this person is, I think it's an air sign person. Maybe not. They might not be an air sign. I think they are. They're somebody with whom you have some sort of a lingering disagreement kind of thing with. You're kind of at odds with this person, okay? And I think this is someone who, I don't know if the two of you like fundamentally disagree on things, or if this maybe is, it could be a romantic partner. Now that I'm looking at some of these other cards, it could be, your person, right? Whoever you are closest to in your life. Could be romantic, could be platonic. It could be in your professional life or your personal life. It's someone that you see every day, who you associate with every day, and they're very close to you. You have a bond with that person of some kind, okay? I think you're at odds with this person. There's some kind of fundamental disagreement. But the good news is, I think that's clearing up in the new year, probably in the next several weeks, like the first part of 2023. You're going to see this situation resolve, whatever that conflict is, because the Four of Swords here is talking about a stabilizing of this kind of mental disagreement, right? This breakdown of communication, probably this being at odds or this kind of disagreement, right? It's seeing that there's a stabilizing of that. Things are going to be safe, stable, secure. They're going to be resolved in some way. Now, this doesn't mean that they're going to be resolved in the sense that they're going to come over to your side of the debate, right? Or that you're going to go to theirs. There may not be an agreement reached, but there will be a resolution. Things will settle, and it'll just kind of maybe agree to disagree, but maybe you'll compromise, maybe you'll start to see a little bit of each other's side, and things will settle, okay? So I think that's a very important start to the new year for you, is to get this conflict resolved, get this, whatever this disagreement is, just kind of let it go or find the compromise, agree to disagree, whatever it takes to really put that kind of thing to bed, because I think that's kind of holding you back in the old energy, right? Holding you back in the old year. And it's time to really move forward. It's kind of about new beginnings and looking ahead, right? And what we see crossing your path once this Four of Swords manifests, once that action, once that event kind of takes place, we get this Fool energy. Now the Fool is the most amazing card to get for a new year reading, right? For any kind of a reading, any kind of a future, a forecast or a future reading or predictions or something. The Fool card is amazing. But in the new year, the Fool essentially is the new year, right? And the new year is full of possibilities. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't manifested yet. It's still, there's just so much that could happen. There's so much that you could do. The Fool here is all about the air, the expansiveness, the really, whatever you think your boundaries are, whatever you can imagine that you want to accomplish in this coming year, you need to push it further. Expand your potential, expand your awareness, expand your imagination, right? Expand the limits of what you think you want, what you think you're going to do, how you think the year is going to go. Really push that envelope, right? And the Fool here is really talking about the air, because we had this air energy here. And this was the communication, the kind of conflict, the disagreement that you had with, I think, with your person in some way, right? This close person to you. Taking all of that air energy and channeling it rather into this opportunity, this future, this potential, this real adventure that's coming for you in this new year, right? But the thing is, it's going to be a fight, okay? And I know we titled the readings here, The Fight of Your Life is Coming. That's because I think every challenge, our next challenge is always the greatest challenge, right? That's always the one that we're focused on, is the one that we're facing, the one that's coming up on us right now. And we see a Five of Wands in the future here. This is the immediate future, so I'm thinking in a couple of weeks, the first couple of months perhaps of 2023. There's going to be a lot of this fiery energy. And I think it is definitely related to this Fool. I think the Fool is kind of, in this situation, the Fool is kind of that, the errant knight, right? The wanderer, but the warrior as well. So I think there's really going to be a lot of this assertive, confident, energetic fire that is going to basically be you pushing into new kind of uncharted areas of your life. Okay, so new opportunities that are probably vastly different than what you're used to. It may be taking a risk on something that you've always wanted to do, somewhere you've always wanted to go, right? And getting that courage, that bravery, getting that fiery energy to do it, to push through any of your apprehension, anything that's holding you back, and really forge your own way, cut your own path in this area. This could be, a new creative, artistic area for you. It could be a new career path. It could be a new job. It could be learning a new skill, trying a new craft. Really anything. The possibilities are completely endless. Anything that you can imagine, because of this Fool card, right? It's air, it's the mind, it's anything you can think of. You're going to have the energy and the will to at least attempt it. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to succeed at every single thing you try, okay? But you have to try and sometimes fail in order to learn what you're good at, what you really want, what feels right. Even if you're not good at something, it may feel like the most passion, the most fun you've ever had. For me, that is when I play the drums, right? I feel such passion, such energy, such like I'm taken out of myself. It's such a magical, mystical feeling when I play the drums. I'm not that good at it. But it's something that brings that passion out of me. And so it's kind of the same thing here. You're going to be finding something that's going to have that for you. You might be successful doing it, though. It might be something that your skill, your body just kind of knows how to do it. Your mind knows how to put it all together. And it may be something that you really do succeed and you really find, maybe a financial benefit to it, or you find that it just really clicks and really harmonizes. But like I said, we see a lack of earth cards here. So that's why I'm bringing up this idea that you may not be successful at it. Now, I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm not trying to dissuade you from trying. I'm just saying that the cards here today aren't concerned with the physical results, the end results. They're not concerned with whether or not this will be successful. It may be, it may not be. Kind of, with these cards, who cares? Okay? This is about that experimentation, that just kind of courage, that fighting spirit, that competitive spirit to go and cut a new path. Because this Fool, I mean, this Fool's ready to go. You know, I love this Fool card, especially in the Thoth deck. It just is such a strong, like energetic, such a curious person, such enthusiasm. They're filled with the Holy Spirit, kind of, right? And they don't care who's watching. They don't care if they look like a fool or if they're embarrassing themselves or making an ass out of themselves. They don't care. They're doing what feels good and what they love, and they have this innocence about them. So it's this all-inclusive kind of thing where they want everybody to come party with them. You know what I mean? And that is kind of, you know, it may not seem like it, but that's kind of in line with this Five of Wands too, because this is that competitive edge where they want to play with everyone. They want to compete against everyone in a very jovial, a very lighthearted, fun, all-inclusive kind of way, right? So when we say that this, you know, this Five of Wands, this fight, you know, is coming, it's not in any kind of a negative way. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to, you know, knock other people down so that you can succeed. No, this is that the sport of it, right? Kind of as family members may compete, as friends may compete against each other, or teammates, you know. It's kind of that feeling. I'm getting a little off track here. The point is, many opportunities for you. This new year is going to see you with that ability, the intention, the real drive and aspiration to try new things and to venture into some area of creativity, of business, career, of personal life, professional life, anywhere. That something that's going to give you that kind of passion and that kind of fighting spirit, that joy, that competitive joy. Something you've always wanted to do, maybe something that you never even really considered, but you see an ad for it on the internet, or you watch a video on YouTube about it and you just say, damn, that's what I want to do. It's that kind of almost a sudden feeling where you're just gonna, that day, as soon as that video's over, you're just gonna go and get the stuff you need and get started doing this, right? And that could be literally anything. And that's a great way to start the new year. New year, new adventures, new competition, new energy and enthusiasm. Now at the top of the reading, at the top of the Path of the Dove here, we see the Emperor card. So I feel like you kind of already have this edge to you. You have this, you want to be that person. You want to be that confident, assertive person who sees what they want, sees what they enjoy, sees like a path or a hobby, some avenue of creativity. They see some opportunity and they have this confidence and assertiveness to go and attempt it. And it's that attempt, not caring if you win or lose, not caring if you're good at it, not caring if you succeed or fail, just doing it, trying your best, and trying these things with confidence. Like you almost have to go into certain things already assuming you're going to be the best at it, right? Now, I'm not trying to advocate any kind of self-serving, attitudes or selfishness or a lack of concern for other people. So please, I don't want to hear that. This is having the confidence in yourself, the strength within your own spirit to go and try things that maybe under normal circumstances you would just say, well, maybe that's not for me. But if you really listen to your heart and you really listen to this Fool, it's something that you wish you could be that person that could just go out and try something, and even if you just make a mess of it, you still had that confidence, had that fun trying, right? So the Emperor here is kind of, this is like your ideal self, just having this kind of, this confidence in yourself, right? This fiery energy, like you're very self-possessed. You're very sure of yourself, not in an arrogant or cocky way, but just in, that more competitive kind of teammate kind of attitude, right? Does that make sense? So I think it's really going to be a good year for you. The year's going to really start out with this sense of adventure, right? This, this kind of warrior spirit kind of thing with all of these possibilities. But what we see at the bottom of the path of the dove here is a little bit different than that. This is a little bit of this is a darker card. Now, one day I'll get that, overhead camera and you can see what I'm looking at. Because we have all of this beautiful bright energy up here with the Fool and the fire cards, the Emperor and the Five of Wands. And then down below we've got this darkness. Down below we have this Eight of Cups. And this is what's beneath the surface in you. That's kind of what's going on the inside, maybe a little bit below the threshold of consciousness. And I think that this year may have been a little bit lackluster for you. I think 2022, I think you're kind of glad it's ending. You're glad this one's over, I feel like there hasn't been a lot of joy, maybe, at least in the latter part of the year. I feel like your spirit, your soul, your inner self, your unconscious is really, really striving for some kind of connection, for that something, and through some opportunity, some activity that's really going to give you a deeper meaning, a deeper sense of self, a deeper connection with yourself through your connections with what is outside of yourself, okay? So it's going to be like a mirroring of the joy and the connection and the experience in the external world that is going to correspond with that joy and meaning and connection with yourself on the inside, okay? Because I feel like 2022 hasn't quite been that way for you. And maybe it's because there's been this lack of confidence and assertiveness and this kind of almost brazen, this brazen attitude to just go and try everything, even if you're going to be just poor at it, right? Like just terrible, but you're going to do it anyway because it's fun and who cares? Like me, when I play the drums, I don't care. You can, of course, other people can hear it. It sounds terrible, but I don't care. I'm in the moment. I'm enjoying it. I'm sure I look foolish. It doesn't matter. But I feel like 2022 didn't see a lot of that for you. There wasn't a lot of just joy and connection and a real expression of your spirit, okay? And with the Eight of Cups here, I feel like that is something that you're maybe starting to be aware of, but maybe it's not so much you're aware of it yet. And I think that this conflict, whatever we're talking about with this air sign person or whoever is represented by this Swords court card, might not be an air sign person, okay? I think it's just somebody with whom you have this communication difficulty or breakdown, okay? I think this might be a lingering thing that is leading on the subconscious level to this Eight of Cups, this lack of connection, lack of joy, lack of excitement and enthusiasm, really. Okay? And I think it's because this is still going on. So once this is either taken a back seat or it's taken out of the picture completely, once it's resolved and this is done, then I think this Fool energy, like I said, I think that air energy can then manifest through this Fool card, and then we can start with this fire. Right? So the air needs to be transformed, and the air then will kind of evolve into that fire element. Okay? And I think all of that air and fire is going to just kind of dry up this kind of stagnant lake, this tepid water, this, kind of swamp that we see here. And I think it's going to give you this boost of energy, enthusiasm, this vital energy, this confidence, right? that you can start using to forge these new connections. Like I said, you're forging connections and experiencing the joy and the passion in the external world, and learning how to connect also with your internal world to have that mirror, have that resonance, right? And I think that's happening. I think that's coming in this new year for you. And it really is a matter of just resolving this swords issue. Resolving whatever this conflict or disagreement is. Let's move over to the path of the serpent now, because I want to see if we can get a little bit more information into that situation perhaps, or into what the future situation is going to be once that, once this past issue, this swords issue is taken care of. Now, in your general energy, we see this watery guy here, this Prince of Cups. Now, it's not gender specific. This, I think, is really you becoming consciously aware of this mirroring, right, that we were talking about, of trying to forge those connections, trying to find that deeper meaning within yourself and in the external world, so that they match up, so that what you feel on the inside is what you're experiencing on the outside. And again, I think that is through some of this fiery activity, this Fool energy, the Emperor, and the Five of Wands, right? Just going out and fighting, having that competitive kind of sport attitude. And I think that's going to do a lot to kind of harmonize your internal and external realities, okay? I think that you're going to be experiencing some joy and pleasure and passion and excitement in the external world, and that's going to be reflected inside of you. Because with this Prince of Cups, this is someone who is kind of has like two sides to them, right? Two emotional sides. It could be externally they're very just jovial, happy, they like people, they have a good time, it seems like they're cheerful, but inside they're this kind of swamp, this Eight of Cups kind of person, right? And we need to kind of switch that around. We need to reconfigure that. We need to reconfigure primarily this swamp, because that Eight of Cups is stagnant water, and stagnant water is no good for anyone, especially you. It's not something that you can be nourished from, right? You don't want to drink stagnant water, right? It attracts bugs. There's stuff in it, yucky stuff, right? So we want to stay away from the stagnant water, and I think that is that's going to be meaningful as we get to the end of the path of the serpent here. So the idea here, I think your conscious energy, your general energy, is really to do something that's going to kind of wake up your emotions, wake up your connection and your sense of meaning. Okay, and I think you're starting to realize that, and you're kind of looking in the external world for something that's going to just kind of get these waters moving again, get that fire lit, and just get that passion going, get you excited again, right? Get you out of the swamp. Now, what we see in terms of your relationship, now this is kind of calling back to that, to this Knight of Swords that we saw, who I think is your person, you're someone who you are very close to. I think that this Empress here, this is in the nature of your relationship with that person. I feel like this person may be a romantic partner, okay, but maybe romantic, maybe platonic. It could go either way. The nature of that relationship, though, is one of kind of like a mothering situation. Now, I'm always careful when I bring up this topic, because I don't want it to be construed as being gender specific, but I feel like there's this kind of a little bit of an overbearing, kind of over-caring, smothering kind of energy here, where it's just either someone is expecting you to take care of them, to kind of be like that mothering kind of figure, or someone is really just kind of micromanaging or too like all up in your business, where it feels like they're trying to mother you or parent you in some way, right? So I feel like with the Empress here, it's somebody who's very close to you. It could be a family member. It could literally be your parent, okay, or your child. All right, this could be indicating that this is your relationship with your offspring. But there is this dynamic to the relationship on one or the other side of it. And it could be what's causing some of this conflict, some of this swords energy that just kind of needs to be put to bed. But it's someone definitely close to you. So it could be a romantic partner, it could be a family member, it could be a friend with whom you have a very close relationship. So close, in fact, that it's starting to feel like one or the other of you is like the responsible one. The parent has to kind of keep an eye on the other one to keep them out of trouble or make sure they eat, or just, to be that kind of parental figure. There's that kind of dynamic there. Okay? And I think that is what might be going on here. That this is maybe what needs to be dealt with before we get into 2023 and really get into this new burst of energy. It's a burst of energy, honestly, with that Fool and that Five of Wands. This is just really, really active fire energy, right? And that's why I'm like calling it that fight. That's why I'm saying it's like that competitive, sporting, kind of jousting warrior spirit, right? Because it's an active fire energy. It's an active passion. It's it's activity, right? It's you out in the world doing things with this fiery energy, with this vitality, this confidence, this assertiveness, this literal like energy, right? But I think that this Empress needs to be dealt with, because this is the dynamic with the relationship that we're talking about. Okay. Now the next card is interesting because it's more air. It's another Swords card, 10 of Swords. So this is really also calling back to all of the air that we see at the beginning, that we saw here with the first few cards of the spread today. With the person involved, right, and this may or may not be an air sign person, we have that issue that needs to be dealt with, this kind of communication breakdown, or some kind of a conflict, or a disagreement, or an inability to really be on the same page, right, with the communication, the sharing of ideas. Once that is taken care of, there's going to be this new beginning, this new opportunity, this new path forward, this burst of energy, this burst of fiery energy that's coming. But I think what also has to happen is that there needs to be a new way of communicating with this person, right? So we can take the Fool in that a different way there as well. Because the Fool is the zero. The Fool is starting over. The Fool is taking this 10 of Swords, right? That mental energy, that communication, this Empress dynamic that you have with that person in this Swords situation has reached its effing limit. Okay? It is just, you've had enough. You're at your wit's end. Like, literally, right? With the end of your wits, the 10 of the air suit. Okay? The 10 of Swords. It's the end of your like intellectual, mental capacity to deal with the way this thing's going. You just can't take any more of it. So there really needs to be that kind of maybe that harsh moment, maybe that harsh conversation to deal with this Empress energy, to reformulate, to kind of reset things back to zero. Start this over. If we're going to have this relationship, if we're going to have this communication with each other, whatever kind of relationship this is, if we're going to have this, we need to start over. We need to go back to zero and start again. Square one, right? Go back to the start, back to zero, reset it, and rebuild it in the better way. So this Fool is also the opportunity for you to redo this relationship, or the dynamic that you have with this person. Okay? And the 10 of Swords is really that indication that, look, you can't just kind of deal with how things are and just try to ignore it, because there's just, that energy has just reached its limit, right? It's almost just like chaotic, and it has no purpose anymore. It has no intention. It's so far removed from spirit, from the unity, right? From the Ace of Swords. It's so far removed that this mental energy just doesn't know what it's doing anymore. Right? It's just existing in this state. And there's really no purpose to it. There's no intention behind it. There's no soul to it. There's really no connection there anymore. And So the Fool then is saying that, look, we need to reset it back to 0 and just manifest it in a new way. Rebuild it as something that's a little bit more healthy, a little bit more balanced. And the interesting thing too is with this balance, we see that perfectly with the Emperor and the Empress, because we got both of these cards here. And the Emperor, remember, is kind of what you're aspiring to. It's the it's that kind of confidence and assertiveness and like courage that you want, right? To just go out and do the things that you want to do and be the person that you want to be, regardless of whether you're going to succeed or fail, regardless of the outcome, regardless of who's watching and who may be judging or who may think that, you're the last person that should be, climbing a mountain or playing the drums or whatever, right? Also matched up with this Empress energy. So this might be the reformulating, the resetting of this relationship back and rebuilding it back to this perfect balance between Emperor and Empress, right? The perfect, almost used a curse word there. The perfect formulation of the active and the passive, the water and the fire, right? And it's the ability to be confident and self-possessed and independent while also being nurturing and caring and having compassion and really taking care of each other, but still maintaining boundaries, maintaining individuality, right? Maintaining your own will and your own intentions, your own purpose, your own complete soul, right? So, we kind of went off on a little sidetrack there, but I think that's kind of the way to rebuild this relationship, right? To restart that, because the Fool, not only is this you in the new year having these new opportunities for this burst of energy, this burst of creativity, this burst of adventure, but this is also talking about how you can rebuild this relationship if you choose to. Anyway, the next card that we see on the path of the Serpent is very much related to what I said about this stagnant water, this swamp, right? We said we needed to get this water moving. This is an 8 of Cups. The 8s are not moving. They're stable. They're just kind of, passive in a way. They're just existing. Like I said, stagnant water. No good for anyone. What we need is something to kind of come in and stir those waters up. Get this water moving in it. Get it flowing so that it can be filtered through the mountains, through the rocks, through the whatever, and come out as a potable water, a clean, drinkable water. Okay? And that's exactly what we see at the end of the path of the Serpent here. We see the 5 of Cups. Now, the 5 of Cups, a lot of the times, is sadness, disappointment, loss, right? A lack of something here. But today, in this reading, because we have this stagnant water here, and because we had this fiery 5 of Wands, this burst of energy, this burst of creativity, we see then this burst of emotional activity, this burst of feelings, this burst of connection. It's really coming in. This fiery energy is starting to really stir up a lot of things in you. And it's stirring up these stagnant waters. It's stirring up this water and getting it flowing again so that it can be filtered. All this negativity can be filtered out. Get rid of all the yucky stuff. And you can experience the pure, clean emotion, the connection, the meaning. Now, not saying that negative emotions are a bad thing that need to be filtered out. No, but in this situation, in this context, I think you're very much aware already of your negative emotions. So getting that emotion, getting that energy flowing, getting some of that filtered out, just to allow you to take nourishment from that pure, clean drinking water, right? That emotional connection, that joy, that pleasure, that real like brightness, right? Where you really come alive inside because you're finding meaning, you're finding connection. And I think that is what at least the beginning of the new year is going to be all about for you. But let's take a look at this confirmation card and let's see if this will give us any further clue into what's going on, if this is going to be, because we already have the Empress. I always say it's going to be an Empress. This could be, I don't know. I don't know. It could be literally anything else. We might get the Universe or the World card here. That I have a feeling it might be that. it might be something like that Earth card that we were looking for. It might be a 9 or a 10 of discs. 6 of discs would be fabulous. You know, if we have another 5, I think that would be appropriate too, right? 5 of pentacles, 5 of discs. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. We've got the Lover's card. This is the 6th mystery of the tarot. This is a major arcana card. This is really, I think, bringing our focus back on this connection that you have with all of these swords, all of this air, with this person here. You're going through this, kind of is going to have to come to this so that this can take place. Kind of the new beginning, the reset, so that ultimately you can have this kind of a union, this kind of a partnership, this kind of a true love soulmate situation. And you know what? The 2 lovers depicted on this Lover's card are the Emperor and the Empress. It's like an alchemical wedding. This is like the real joining of, you know, 2 souls into just something that's beyond both of you, right? At the same time, you're still maintaining your individuality. You're still maintaining the balance within yourself. But you have this now rather perfect union with someone, okay? But this card is not saying, look, you have to stay with this person, make it work because they're your soulmate. This is, sorry, you have to. No. This card is saying that you have to choose this kind of relationship, this balance, this really healthy union, as close to your ideal partnership as you can. You have to choose that. And it may not be with this person. It may not be with this situation. But this is what your future holds. This is what you're after. This is what you deserve and what you will gain. But you have to choose this. And it may be that you can create this type of relationship, this kind of partnership, this kind of, you know, chemical wedding with this person that you're with now. But it's not guaranteed. That's not what this card is saying. This card is about choice. You have to choose love. You have to choose your highest ideal over settling for something less. Okay? So it's really about that choice, to choose that perfect partnership for you, to choose what is going to be right for your ultimate path and your goals in life, especially in terms of this relationship that we're talking about, because I didn't mean for this to turn into a relationship reading, okay? So I apologize. I think we had a lot of other good stuff in here too. Okay. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am very happy that you let me read for you today. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to do an extended reading as we do. You can become a member to this channel by clicking on the link in the description box. This was a complete and whole reading in and of itself. You do not need to watch the extended for this reading to manifest for you, for this to resonate with you. The extendeds are just a bonus for channel members, okay? We do 3 cards, and it sometimes is a completely different message. Sometimes it gives us a little bit more insight into this situation, something that we may not have seen in these cards, okay? So it's an extended reading, but this is whole and complete in and of itself. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. This was your New Year 2023 tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot, and I'll see you again.